Rachel here. So I'm going to try to just stick with the facts and share with you what my experience has been out here in Leon County with high voltage power lines and AI data centers and solar farms and wind farms. And if it feels right, I'll just share from my heart how it makes me feel at the end. To start, 2015 or 2016, I think, we were approached, a lot of the farmers and ranchers out here were approached by a company called Cross Texas Power. They are a private company, but said this is for public use, that Houston and Dallas needed more power and they were going to try to help with that expected growth. So they needed right-of-way through our land so they could build high-powered electrical lines that would transfer power from wind power all the way into the cities. And many of the farmers and ranchers didn't want that. They were opposed. That's lots of, farm and ranch land. It's woods and forest and trees like what I'm in here. And they appreciate their hunting and fishing and things like that. So anyways, I was told that this company said, if you don't accept this deal and the money that we're giving you, that our next step is to take it by force, by eminent domain or by force. We're going to take it anyways and you won't get anything. That was my impression. I wasn't there in the meetings to hear it. So, they got the right of way and they took our land. I'm the 5th generation on farmland out here. And it was, a trading post back in the day. I'm living in my great-grandpa's pier and beam Sears and Roebuck house that I renovated with my grandfather, and there's lots of memories. So that happened. So they came through with their high-powered electrical lines. I think they went live by about 2018. Then fast forward to all of this information about the AI data centers coming through, and it sounds like they have a proposed campus to build. And a campus is not just one AI data center. A campus could potentially be comprised of 30 to 60 buildings, AI data center buildings on one campus. And I think they're proposing 4 of these campuses out here. One that's supposed to be huge, the other 3 smaller. And I learned through a lawyer who came to speak to our community that there are a couple things that that brings them into Texas. One is the fact that in Texas we have in cities there's zoning. They can set laws that protect the citizens and the people of that community by zoning. And then out here in our counties in the country, we have county commissioners, but county commissioners are not given the right to set those laws or to zone. Texas really has always, appreciated or voted for freedom to use your property as you wish. And so I can see the benefits in that. But now when you get neighbors next to you who don't share the same morals or values, they don't care what happens to you because of their operation, seems that's a problem. So that's one of the main reasons people are coming into Texas with these AI data centers. They aren't held accountable. They can do whatever they want to with their land. Then we are positioned right between the Navasota River and the Trinity River. And I was told these data centers used to pull tons and tons of water. There was a talk that, in the next 2 years, we wouldn't even have access to our aquifer that, we've had a well for our water for as long as I can remember. And every time I test it, it's pure, pristine, no problem. So shallow wells, like 100, 150 feet, chances are we're not going to have water if they use the old methods. The next thing I heard was that these data centers are moving away from that intensive water use, and they're doing more like evaporative cooling, or they'll use the cold air and bring it in and just monitor the humidity around the machines. So then there's that piece. The last step I heard was some sort of nuclear approach to cooling the machines. And that just doesn't sound good at all to me, but who knows? I need to do more research on that. The other piece that a lot of citizens are concerned about is there being a low hum from the machines that never stops. The effects of that on humans, on wildlife, on trees and plants. Are there any EMFs coming off of it? There's lots of questions unanswered. And I do know that the company that was coming through, I think Belltown Power, they pulled out of our community meeting when they saw we were getting more exposure for what's going on out here. So they refused to speak to us at the community meeting. So there's that. That doesn't feel good either. Okay, so fast forward to last week, and I was told that my power lines with my co-op are in the way of a solar farm that's coming in. Our neighbor, who came in and bought thousands of acres out here several years ago, decided to lease for the next 30 years his land to a solar company. And they're putting in thousands of solar panels right next to me. I don't know what that's going to do to the water, if there's ever any broken panels. I don't know what that's going to do to the environment. I was told it rises by, 10 degrees warmer for the neighbors or surrounding land. I don't know if there's any light pollution, noise pollution. I was told there was going to be a transfer center for that power. And I said, well, where is it going? Is it going to mess up our grid? And they said, oh no, they're just going to tap right into those high-powered electrical lines back there. And so my brain goes to a place, well, I wonder if that was the plan all along. I don't know. But I'm just telling you what my experience is and was and what I see. And to be faced with people coming in like this who share a different moral compass or value, who don't care about how their operation could negatively affect me or my family or the land or nature or whatever, without testing, without having a conversation. I'm angry. I'm angry and I'm disappointed. And I don't quite know what to do with all of this. So I just wanted to share what I've seen, what I experience, and what I believe is happening. I think these power lines were taken basically forcefully. Our land was taken away from us to have high-powered electrical lines who I don't think are safe. I don't think these lines are healthy in any way, shape, or form, especially being as close to some of our structures that we live in out here. There's a long list and a lot of unanswered questions, and I don't like how everything is moving so quickly without the community being involved in the planning process, without the neighbors being asked, how do you feel about this? Let's work on this together. We're going to put in thousands of solar panels. I'm just stunned. I'm stunned. The number one, what I was told by several, just through research, what I was told is even more so than tax breaks, these companies, these AI data centers are drawn to places with a water source, and they're drawn to transfer of power. No power stops. So a complete and open transfer of power from one place to the next, that's what they're drawn to. So in my opinion, they knew what they were going to do all along out here when they took our land. They knew they were going to bring in data centers. They knew they were going to have solar power and wind power hooked up to those high voltage lines to then feed the AI data centers. And did anybody care about the people who live here? Did anybody ask us? No. No. And we weren't even given time to try to come up with a solution that makes sense, that might be healthier. You know, I have no idea. Could you bury the things? And maybe the EMFs don't travel as far. Maybe there's a way to dampen the hum so it doesn't affect people or wildlife or jack up our nervous systems. I don't know. And I wanted to share authentically what's going on and hope that whatever I've shared could help, might help in some way. But it's the transfer of power. So if you have power stops, you probably don't have to worry too much about this company. And if you have a transmission of power like high voltage lines, brace yourselves. They're coming through, I bet. I bet they're coming through. I'm not opposed to change. I'm not opposed to progress. I understand the need and the benefits of AI, truly. I see the benefits. But I also see when you give your power away, when you start putting money ahead of honoring life, respecting life, there's something wrong there. And I would love to see everybody just slow down and take our time and work together in coming up with a solution moving forward. In the meantime, I continue to detach and search for my own peace through this whole process. And maybe get to be a part of creating a system that honors life and still allows for progress and growth and change. Thanks for hearing me out today. And I don't know, hoping for better days ahead. Hey, and in the end, nature always wins. Hasn't the earth been around a lot longer than humans? Wishing you guys well. Talk to you soon.